Once I started rookie school, and the first time I went into a burning room, that was when the adrenaline rush hit. And once the adrenaline rush started, I was hooked.
I thought you were going to say something like you took the police test, didn't pass it, and firefighter was the only other option.
Well, you know.
Hey, welcome back to the Long Code Podcast. In today's episode, we have the Garland Fire Department's PIO, James Duggar. He's going to share his career from operations to where he is today as the PIO, as well as share some interesting dynamics between the police and fire, safety tips that you can take away. He's also got a really good, interesting professional story. Let's get into it.
You are clear for Long Code.
Today we have James Duggar, the PIO for the fire department. Hey, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks to be here.
Hey, so before we get started, a little bit about who you are. Who is James Duggar? How long have you been with the fire department? Anything you want to share?
So I've been with the fire department 31 years. I was in operations for about 20. Made my way into the office, went into training for about 6 or 7 years. Was kind of stagnant there, so went over to the fire marshal's office, became an inspector and an investigator. Didn't go the arson route, didn't get the police certification, but did investigations for about 3 years, and then opportunity opened up in training. My chief asked me if I'd go back over and give the training department a help, and so I've been over there for about the past 2 years, but also managed during that fire marshal stint to start doing our PIO, and that's where I've been trying to tag along with you for the last 2 years.
And so you said you kind of bounced around, but you mentioned arson investigator in regards to, I guess, a certification. What is an arson investigator? How are they different than a regular firefighter?
So firefighters get certified as firefighters, and then there's different certifications you can get along the way. Well, one of them's an investigator, and so you go and you learn how to diagnose or read a fire and what possibly started, and that's one side of the fire marshal's office. So the other side is the arson investigator, which the arson investigator is an investigator, but they go and get their TCOL and go to police academy so they can actually fully arrest people. They write tickets, detain people, arrest people. Where the investigator / inspector, we can write tickets. We just can't detain anybody or arrest anybody. That's where we come get y'all.
And TCOL stands for Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. So that is what every police officer must actually obtain to be a police officer in the state of Texas. And so the arson investigators are similar. They actually have those arrestable rights, but they investigate the actual arsons and make the arrests and write warrants and things to that effect.
That'd be correct.
Let's talk about investigations for a second, because, I mean, some people may not know all the ins and outs of what the fire department does as far as investigations. You got paramedics, you got firefighters. So talk about the investigation side. What is it that you all investigate?
So anytime there's a fire in our jurisdiction, chief's responsible for declaring or trying to find out a reason for the fire. It goes to all our stats for our INFRs and all, which are National Investigating Fire Reporting Systems. So what we have to do is we'll go out to any fire. And as far as for us, we don't want to cause spoliation with any of the evidence from the fire. So we'll investigate the fire and look to see if we believe it's an arson, an intentional fire, if it's just an accident, or if we just don't really know. But we'll go to the point where we try to rule out arson. If we can't rule out arson, then we'll continue on, and the arson investigators come in and actually dig deeper into it. But most of the time we get to where if we can have an area of an origin or maybe even room, we'll go to that point, but then we'll leave it at that point for the private side, the insurance investigators to come out, because we don't want to spoil anything for them, because sometimes they'll come in and let's say we have a kitchen fire and there's 3 or 4 different appliances on the countertops. It may be a toaster and a microwave and this, that. If we don't know which one actually started the fire, we don't want to go in there and say this. So we'll let the insurance company come in and they'll get products that were like the ones in the house that caught on fire, and then they will do their testing and figure out what actually started so that they can subjugate the expense of the fire to, let's say, whoever made the product that caught on fire.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of, I guess, civil issues going on,
yes,
especially when fires are that maybe an argument whether it was the person's fault or some other product's fault.
Or failure of an appliance.
And all your career, what have you enjoyed the most? I mean, I'm sure you've seen so much over your career. You know, how many years total?
31.
31 years total. 20 years in operation?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean exactly, just for everyone?
Well, so for 20 years, I was either on an ambulance, on an engine, or on a truck, and just making the calls, the daily calls. And that's a lot of fun. That's why we got hired. That's where you start, and that's what you want to be. And then everything else is something you move into during your career.
And I guess Garland firefighter is, I guess, multiple certifications. I mean, you're paramedics and firefighters.
Yes.
So, and I think there's some agencies that they're not like that. They maybe have full-time paramedics and full-time fire department. Why does Garland do it that way?
So that's just the way we've always done it from day one. You sign on when you take the test. They say, hey, you're going to sign up. You're also going to sign right here that you're going to become a paramedic at some point in time in your career. And that's the way we've always run our ambulance service, which is a great blessing here in the city of Garland. We per capita, we have more ambulances per capita as far as people than most cities our size.
Wow.
So we have a great EMS service, and being able to control that by us actually running the EMS service, I think, is a blessing to the citizens.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we tell people all the time, like if there's an emergency, call 911. If it's medical or police related, but if it's medical, an ambulance will show up to the house.
Yes.
And it's already covered in the taxes that the citizens pay.
Yes.
So there's no cost for a paramedic to come by and check you out.
No, there's no cost at all. We always encourage people, if you don't know, call.
Right.
Because it's better safe than sorry. Don't wait till it's too late to call, because then you're just making the situation worse for yourself.
Now, in your experience, I mean, have you noticed that there's reasons why, or do people hesitate to call paramedics?
Some people do, and a lot of time it's because of the financial end of it. And we try to urge people that, you know what, money doesn't matter if you don't have health, or if you're not here, then it doesn't work. So we encourage people to call early. Better safe than sorry.
No, 100%. Because I think if you wait too long, then ultimately something worse could happen, and you might end up hospitalized. Where an ambulance check or a paramedic check could just lead to just a doctor's visit. Save people a lot more money in that regard as well.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so, why a firefighter? Why did you want to become a firefighter?
My father was a firefighter, and to be honest, I'm a little different than a lot of firefighters. A lot of firefighters want to be firefighters since they were kids. Me, I was a kid that went to college for a couple of years and didn't know if that was really what I wanted to do. And Dad's like, hey, go take the fire test. And I did, and they hired me. And then I got once I started rookie school, and the first time I went into a burning room, that was when the adrenaline rush hit. And once the adrenaline rush started, I was hooked.
I thought you were going to say something like you took the police test, didn't pass it, and firefighter was the only other option.
Well, I could go that way, but I could bring up a story about where y'all were recruiting last time.
Oh, well, maybe for another episode. But, the reality is, I mean, we have a great working relationship, our police department, our fire department. I don't have any specific examples, just stories that people have told me that certain agencies, I mean, there's like some tension sometimes. But I think one of the things that makes us great is our relationships.
Yes, the Garland Fire PD relationship far exceeds any place I've seen.
No, that's wonderful.
We get along pretty well.
And you also have a personal tie to the police department. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, the city of Garland's responsible for my retirement, and they're responsible for the lady that's going to be around, well, in theory, should be around when I retire. I'm married to Colleen Duggar. Been married for 16, going on 17 years now. We met through the department, and we got to talking, and that's next thing you know, 17 years later, we're still together.
It's a great connection.
It is. It's. I've met a lot of police officers through her, and just over. You work in a city for 31 years. You meet a lot of and especially in the case where we get along so well. There's a lot of departments. I know a lot of guys that are firefighters that hardly know any police officers in their city. Where I know, there's probably as many police officers do firefighters just over the years. So.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I mean, we're a small enough town to where ultimately we get to know other departments really well. And from public safety standpoint, police and fire, we work together all the time. Mm-hmm. There's many instances that you guys go out and you request us to go out as well, and vice versa, just because of the circumstances that actually lead us to that location. So when it comes to fires, there's a lot of safety tips. And you've been around for 31 years, and operations as well as investigations, training. I think right now, just year round, what are some things that maybe people need to be aware of that are common fires that you guys have seen throughout the career that people may or may not be aware of, or it could just be something that you just don't think about at a specific time?
Well, the biggest thing, unfortunately, year round is always cooking fires. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's where most of your sources come in a residential setting.
Cooking, like in the house on the stovetop.
Straight up stovetop cooking. It can be from a number of things. It can be from a cluttered workspace, or it could be, the biggest one is cooking and walking away. Anytime you're cooking, don't leave a fire unattended. It's It's better safe than sorry. Is it going anywhere? Probably not. But the problem is say you're cooking with oil and for whatever reason it gets over the side of the pan, the oil catches on fire and it spreads. Okay. And that's just when it's you're not observing it, then there's where the problem is.
Is it more like the oils and greases that actually overflow, or what causes the fire on an overflow like that?
Well, that's just, I mean, if very rarely does the oil overflow itself, but it can splatter. You can have a dirty cooked surface. It can be just from lack of keeping it clean. It can also be the food you're cooking. It just, things boil over, things get adjusted, or let's say you have that towel you're wiping your hands on and you just sit it there right beside the stove.
Right.
Things can happen.
Okay.
So.
What about I guess grilling?
Grilling's not a big issue. The biggest problem we have with people, especially in the patios of apartment complexes or the balconies, anytime you're grilling, it should be 10 feet away from a structure. And a lot of people, especially in apartments, they don't have that kind of room, and they try to make it work. I mean, I understand everybody wants a good burger on a summertime day, but you have to be safe in it.
Now, I know in my career, responding to I guess, fire assist calls, I remember one fire because it was a grill that was under an actual, I guess, patio cover,
yep.
And it burned the entire house down.
Yes.
And it happened overnight. And I mean, it was out. And how did that happen? I mean, because it was out, talking to the people, but all of a sudden, something caused the fire.
Well, people, it's especially with charcoal grills or a wood burning grill. A lot of people think it's out because it's smoldering, but I mean, you got to think ashes can smolder for 12 hours sometimes. And if you put it in a container that's not fireproof or fire resistant, a lot of the times it'll, like if some people take a plastic 5-gallon bucket to dump out their leftover coals thinking they're out. They put them in the bucket. They set the bucket over there at the side. Next thing you know, the bucket melts and everything. And it gets another source of material to burn, and you've got a whole nother fire.
So you talked about stovetops. You talked about grills. So what are some things that people can do, aside from staying present, to, I guess, keep a fire from actually happening? Not necessarily specific to the stovetop or grills, but in general. What can they do to keep be aware of fire prevention in the future?
Well, the biggest problem is just clutter. It's just keep a neat workspace, whether it's in your kitchen, it's in your garage, it's in your house in general. Cluttered houses, cluttered messes, it's just everything's combustible. There's very few things that are combustible or not combustible. So it's just tidying up, picking up after yourself, and just using your common sense. That's the biggest thing. The unattended fires, yeah, that's something, but it's just a matter of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure kind of deal. Right. Spend a couple of minutes to look at it and go, if that don't look right, it's probably not.
That's good. That's great tips. I guess not many people think about all the things that could catch fire. So is there some things that are more flammable than others that we need to be aware of?
Not really. It's just the biggest thing with us is so you have your stoves in an area you can have fire. You have your fireplace in an area you can have fire. Anywhere you have electrical stuff. A lot of people, electronics are big nowadays, right? We have plugs into everything. Now, some of the older houses in Garland, not as well equipped electrically as the newer places where you have 4 plugs on every wall, where in the older houses you have 1 plug on one wall in each room, and then we still have 20 things plugged into it.
Yeah, and then like several different extension cords to that one plug.
They call it daisy chain. We'll have a multi-plug plugged into the wall, and we'll have another multi-plug into the multi-plug.
Is that okay? Can people do that? Okay, so talk about that, because no one knows about that.
That's a huge thing, is when we're daisy chaining things, we're plugging. Granted, it has 5 plugs we can plug things into, but if you're drawing large draw items, your refrigerators need to be plugged directly in the wall, your stoves, your laundry equipment. The other big thing, these space heaters, this time of year especially. Space heaters are a pretty good draw. Don't plug them into a power strip. Plug them into the wall, because they draw so much current. You don't know where the power strip came from. Yeah, you bought it at a store, but where was it manufactured? Did they cut corners to try to save money? Does it have what it needs to really protect you and trip the fuse and the breaker in it before it actually catches fire? A lot of the time we find out it doesn't. So to be on the safe side, your bigger draw items, plug them directly into the wall. And anytime you're not using the items that are plugged into a power strip, shut it off or even unplug it.
So don't use an extension cord for a space heater, for instance,
yes,
because you want to heat the center of the house, and the wall is where the plug's at. So don't use an extension cord for that?
Don't even put extension cords on appliances like space heaters or bigger appliances that have big draws on them, because that extension cord is kind of like those power strips. is it really rated for what you're pulling through it? And also when they're wound up, when they get bent, they stepped on, or they go through doorways, or they're going under furniture. Over time, that when they get stepped on or pressed on, it weakens that cord, and eventually it will fail. I mean, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but how many times have you gone to these houses and the same cord's been run for years?
Right. It's a lot of common sense stuff, but at the same time, though, I mean, I guess, I don't know, laziness is not the word. It's just the fact that we don't think about all these, I guess, these issues that could arise.
Yes.
Are there typically instructions that to say, hey, this is something you need to plug into the wall, or is it case by case?
It's usually case by case, unfortunately. I don't recall seeing anything on anything I bought, but that doesn't mean it's not there. But how many times do we actually read all the way through the manuals on the things we get?
We've opened up a box, throw everything out there, put it together. It's just the way, but sometimes, yeah.
But no, that's a big thing is just pay attention to what you're doing. And like you said, it is common sense. And sometimes we just get so involved and we think, well, why is it like that? Because we've always done it. We've never thought about it. And I think it's over the years, and that's one thing with the fire services. We did everything the way we've always done it because that's the way we did it. And we realized if we think about it for half a second, maybe that's not the best way to do it. And so that's where we're at with fire safety too. Is we've come a long way as a department and as public. We don't make as near as many fires as we used to because the public is educating. They're getting educated by us and sometimes on their own just to take a look and go, wow, that doesn't look safe, and it's not.
Right.
So
great advice. I mean, great details in regards to fires. What about, so we got smoke detectors and people, well, many people in houses have gas as opposed to electric. And sometimes those can be dangerous and even fatal.
Yeah, the smoke detectors are lifesavers. They detect the smoke long before we do, and we always recommend a smoke detector in any cooking area. We also recommend a smoke detector either in your living area, like a bedroom, or right outside the bedroom. That way if smoke comes up, it alerts that, gives you time to get out. But also nowadays, with your gas stoves or your gas fireplaces, you need a CO detector. Now, those are great too. Here's the difference though. When you have fire, smoke rises. As it cools, it settles. So smoke detectors are up high. Now, if you have a CO detector, carbon monoxide gas does rise eventually, slowly, but usually it settles and slowly rises. So your CO detectors, instead of mounting them like your smoke detectors, they need to be mounted more down toward the floor area, not at the floor, but with a foot or two of the floor.
Should those be like in the areas where gas is used, like the stove, or I guess maybe just, I don't know.
Stove,
what else is used?
Stove or fireplace, anywhere like that, or used to, and a lot of them don't have. Some of the older houses in Garland still have them, the old wall heaters in the bathrooms.
Okay.
Most of the insurance companies have made you take those out by now, but there's still some left. But anywhere you have a gas heater, you're going to want a CO detector. Now, here's the thing: if you don't have gas in your house, you don't need a CO detector. We've had people call us, their CO detectors going off, and they can't figure out why. Usually it's the battery, and it's not always, but there's no gas in your house, the CO detector, if you're not having combustion.
But what about the risk of gas coming into my house, James?
Well, there's always that risk, but it's not a high likelihood.
Right. No, that makes sense. I think sometimes you overthink things, but it boils down to common sense.
Yes.
If you don't have gas in your house, no need for a CO2 detector.
CO detector.
CO.
Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide.
See?
That's a police fire.
This is why we have the fire.
If you scored higher on the
here.
test, you'd be here.
That's good.
Sorry, cheap
the
shot.
love-hate relationship that we have here. It's actually really love-love. As a matter of fact, to the degree, side note here, we actually, on our SWAT team, we actually have a SWAT medic.
Yes.
So we have paramedics that actually work hand in hand with our SWAT team on, high-risk type of scenarios where they need to go. You guys, we work really well together.
Yes.
And I think, one of the biggest things that I love about the city is our partnership.
Our SWAT medics love that job. I think most of them would almost rather be police officers and firefighters. There are a couple of them that way.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great opportunity for us, and it's been a good bonding and building relationships between the two departments, because that's when those guys are there just for your guys.
Right.
That's their job.
And we appreciate that. And they're there to help us out, as well as, immediate assistance in case someone is in need of medical assistance. Yes. So, so much is going on here. So you've seen a lot in your career, and I kind of stop the question, but what is your most favorite part of your entire career? All the things that you've done. Not to say that you didn't like anything, but just what do you enjoy? What do you enjoy the most?
There's a big adrenaline rush with actually fighting fires, but I think I enjoy the most the kids. It's going out and doing public education and seeing the kids. that's when you see these kids light up, and that's pretty cool. When you realize, oh, I'm a role model for these kids. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, you guys are like heroes. I mean, you're just literally heroes to these kids. I mean, even the parents and adults, when you guys walk in. So do you guys do a lot of like public safety education and awareness campaigns?
Yeah, we're working on getting more out there as far as the department itself is calling from, but we have a whole part of our certification process. There's a week-long part that's just geared toward public education and learning how to present classes and or just little tidbits to the public that's involved in our certification process. So all the firefighters are educated and are skilled to do public presentations.
I love that. Now, so adults and kids?
Adults, kids, from 1 to 40, or not 40, 90. we got to cut off,
Once you're over 40, you can't come.
Logan's
Yeah,
running
sorry.
The public education is probably the best part of it.
And so when it comes to, I guess, education, things to that effect, what are some things that we as a public, should know every single day, like CPR? I mean, is it offered? Is it free? I mean, is that something that...
That's something. I'll tell you what, in the city of Garland, we offer CPR and first aid. We also offer basic fire safety instruction. And all you have to do for that is contact the City of Garland Fire Department, get on our webpage, and we have a public education section, or call our main office at 972-781-7100 and select public education. I believe it's offer number 2 or 3. And if you have a business, or if it's just for a Cub Scout troop, or it's for your personal use, just call us and we can get you scheduled with Mr. Click. He's our public education guy, and we'll get you whatever you need.
That's awesome. And I think it's something that, maybe we don't think about, or maybe you went through an actual CPR class many years ago. Is it good to get a refresher?
It is, because it actually changed. Years ago, it was pump 5 times, breathe, pump 5. Now it's just pump their chest. Now it's compressions only. They figured every time we were stopping CPR back in the day, we were stopping circulation. It takes another minute CPR to get the circulation back. So now let's just keep circulating. There's a lot of little details to it. But
obviously, there's some techniques that go into that as well. Another one is Heimlich. People choking. Is that a big deal? People should really learn how to do the Heimlich, right?
It would come in our CPR first aid. And anything you can learn that could possibly, will you ever use it? Hopefully not. But it's that one in a million time. It's better to have it and not need it than not know it and need it.
What about fire extinguishers? Should we have fire extinguisher in our houses?
We always recommend at least having one, especially near your kitchen area. Obviously, a lot of people don't like it because it's kind of an eyesore, but you can find a cabinet close to the stove to put it under somewhere. It's not. It doesn't hurt. And you got to replace them every so often, but it's a little safety measure. And we do always recommend that if you're going to use a fire extinguisher, use one fire extinguisher. Don't have several. If you can't get out with one, drop it and get out of the house. Let us come do our job.
Really?
Yeah, it's just better safe than sorry. The extinguishers are meant for really incipient fires, and if you get past using that one and you haven't gotten it out, there's a good chance you're not going to, and we don't want you to expose the citizen to the heat, the products of the combustion. That's what really is the bad part. So try it once and get out there and save yourself. Everything's replaceable, but human life's not. So
no, you're absolutely right. When it comes to calling 911 to have a paramedic or a firefighter come out, what are the reasons people should call 911?
Well, we try to do it just for an emergency, but there's times where people can't determine if they think it's an emergency. That's the biggest problem. Is a lot of time we'll have people not call because they didn't realize or didn't know if it's an emergency. You know what? Go ahead and call. As we can always turn around or we can go somewhere else if there is no need for us.
Right.
But we better call early, because if there is a problem and you don't deal with the problem, it's like anything, it grows.
Right.
And so call us early, get us out there beforehand. But
I love that.
Preferably, medical emergency, whether it's from young to old. If it's something that's acute onset, it means just started to happen, something went wrong, and we don't know what it is, give us a call.
All right, very good. That's a lot of good information. We covered a lot of stuff here. Now, I know 31 years in the profession, you've seen a lot of interesting stuff. Is there any stories that pop out that are stuck in your memory?
Well, I've got one, and I've actually got two, but one years ago at one of our local supermarkets, they have their video arcade games and claw games out front, and there was a claw game there. And this child decided he wanted one of the toys in the claw game, and it was a bigger claw game. It was a small child. he crawled up in the little chute where it dumps the toy and crawled up into the chute. Well, there's a little flap inside that drops to keep people from reaching up and trying to grab toys. Well, he got past that little door. Well, once he got past it, it dropped down. So now he's stuck in the claw game.
Oh, so the kid is inside the claw game.
100% standing in the claw game. They call.
Oh, my
nobody can
goodness.
get him out because nobody has a key to the claw game because that's an individual vendor. So they call the fire department.
Oh, my goodness.
So we go out to rescue this kid. We get there and we walk in, and of course we're 100% professional because
100%,
that's the way
yes.
you have to be.
Yes, yes.
And for some reason, my captain decided to remind me on the way in to be 100% professional. And we walked in, and there's this little kid, and he's standing in the middle of the claw game with all the other stuffed animals and things. And I fell out. I told Cap, this is funny stuff. I'm sorry. That's funny.
Oh,
and,
my gosh.
Well, I had to laugh for a little bit before we decided to get him out of the claw game.
I mean,
he was safe. He was getting plenty of oxygen. He wasn't going anywhere. But yeah, it was quite comical.
oh, my gosh. Did anyone put a quarter in and try to get the kid out of the claw?
Well, that might have been mentioned.
It's funny, but not funny.
It's not funny.
Yes, but nobody was hurt.
Nobody was hurt. The claw game did need a new lock on it, but hey, the kid made it out fine.
How did you guys get the kid out?
We actually just broke the lock. It's just one of those things. The firemen, we've been known to break things.
Yeah, I figured you guys pull out the jaws of life or something like that, and clip through the actual machine.
We only use what we need. We don't go that big.
I
the jaws are for the bigger stuff. But,
Did he get to keep the toys?
well, that was where the debate was. Is give him the toy. I was like, well, he broke in. We ought to call the cops.
Call the cops.
I was
And
like,
we were there, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so we showed up there. I don't think we arrested the kid or the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That story, I'm telling you, that's one that is just, you can't make that up.
That's a good one.
That's
I think they've made that scenario in movies and TV, but you never actually
See it
see it
in
And
real life.
This is something that y'all as first responders get to see the crazy things in life.
Yeah, man. And the reality is, I mean, over your career, 31 years, and even in law enforcement, however long you're in a career in policing, you see so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things, I mean, a lot of serious stuff, because, I mean, we are in a serious profession. Our job
Yes.
is to serve, protect, and provide aid as necessary. But there's just a reality to it. I mean, there's things that happen that are just funny. Well, James, man, we've got a lot of information here. Thank you so much for sharing this, coming on the show. And we just had a great discussion with James Duggar, the PIO for the Garland Fire Department. He talked about his career from operations to where he is today, talked about the great dynamic between the police and fire department, what the paramedics and fire departments do, and he also shared some safety tips that you can take away. If you want to learn more about what the fire department does, they have a Citizens Fire Academy. You can go online and sign up for that and really get a hands-on experience as to what they do. It's very similar to the Police Citizens Academy. Check it out. If you like what we see here, subscribe and share with a friend. See you next time.
You are clear for long code.